When you struggle with doubt about your faith, commit to action that requires faith.
Hi guys, welcome back to Salt Talk with Wayne and Professor Ewen. I almost called you Nick.
Dr. Ewen.
Dr. Ewen.
Yeah, Professor.
Yeah.
Professor Nick Ewen.
I think we've mentioned in a few episodes that I can't call you Nick in class.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're not in class.
Yeah, that's true. So I can call you Nick?
Sure.
All right. So today's topic, as you picked, is doubt. I got a few questions for us today.
Okay.
All right. I also have an answer to this because your boy,
You've been thinking
big
about
brain,
it?
big IQ.
You've been thinking about it?
I have.
You've been nervous about sharing this answer with me?
No, not one bit.
Okay. We'll see how well you do.
Okay. I mean, what is the biblical definition of doubt? Like, what would you say?
Biblical definition of doubt.
Yes.
Would be fear. Fear of the world rather than fear of God.
Okay.
Maybe? Like fear of what you see in front of you rather than fear of like the God of the universe that maybe because of circumstances or something you can't directly see.
Okay. All right. I said
Fear of the future, fear of failure, fear of being wrong or being a fool. I don't know.
So you would like categorize it with fear, doubt and fear?
Yeah, doubt and fear would be, I think, in the
Okay.
same category. Yes.
All right. I said doubt is questioning the faith you already have.
Okay, yeah.
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 I said, like, you can't doubt something that you don't believe in.
You can't doubt something that you don't believe in.
Yes. Because that's unbelief.
Well, let's rephrase that.
Okay.
You can't doubt something in which you don't believe.
Yes.
Sorry, that's the same question. I was just saying it properly.
Yeah, okay.
Grammar.
I need to stop getting people doctorates on this.
Well, okay, let me think about
All right.
this. You can't doubt something that you don't believe.
Yes. So, all right, let me rephrase it. Let me say what I wrote down so I sound better.
Okay.
Doubt is not the absence of faith, but the questioning of it.
Okay, but that contradicts what you just said.
No, it doesn't.
You said you can't doubt something that you don't believe in.
Right, you have to have the faith to doubt it.
Right, okay. Okay.
All right. Boom.
You've twisted me all around. I feel like I'm in a brain lock. So, doubt, you have to believe in something in order to doubt it.
C.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
You have to believe in something in order to doubt it.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to just repeat this to like wrap my head around it.
Okay. This is just what little first year college student Wayne has come up with. Anyway, so the next question is, what is doubt not?
What is doubt not?
Yes. What is not doubt? Like, what is a misconception of doubt? I said unbelief.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And the difference is, to me, like I said, doubt is the questioning of your faith. I said unbelief is a determined refusal to believe.
Okay. Sure. So if you went up to someone and you said, I believe in God, what do you think about that? Do you think that God exists? And they said, well, I doubt it. You're saying technically they're wrong?
I think they are using the word incorrectly, which
It's
is
just
which is not uncommon in
the
English.
colloquial, like
I know what that word means.
the connotative, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you agree or disagree with this?
I don't necessarily disagree with it. I would say I agree with the idea of it. Sure, that like in order to have, I would say in order to struggle with doubt, it has to be something about which you are in a state of belief but conflicted.
Okay, like a struggle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So doubt would be the struggle with it.
Okay.
So maybe we could say, as a better definition, doubt is a struggle with belief.
Okay, I like that.
So that people who either just 100% believe and they never struggle with it, they don't struggle with doubt. And also on the other side, people who absolutely do not believe and they don't struggle with not belief, they don't doubt either.
Okay. What causes doubt?
Going back to what I started with, I would say fear causes doubt. Our human tendency to determine our behavior, our decision making on what we see, like what's in front of us, and a lot of times what we see and what's directly in front of us causes us to have fears and say, "Gosh, am I doing the right thing here? Am I saying the right thing? Do I have what it takes? Am I totally off base? Am I going to totally blow this? Am I going to, make an idiot out of myself?" Or all these things cause doubts, and I would say they're fears.
Okay. I think something that causes fear, and a lot of people don't think about this, is setting super high expectancies. I don't know. Extreme example here.
Okay.
So, let's say someone's family member is in super critical condition, right?
Medical
condition.
Despair. Yes.
And it's that person prays for them to live, and 100% they're thinking God's going to save the day. But God decides to, take this person home, depending on their belief. Anyway, it's I feel like if that person was oh, God will save it, that'll cause doubt.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Depending where you are spiritually.
Sure.
I feel
I would say for sure there are people who absolutely set this really high expectation, say, if God doesn't come through in this, then he must not be true at all. Sure. So maybe over expectations, but I think that people more often than that actually have really low expectation. I doubt God's existence simply because people who call themselves Christian are just like the rest of us or behave in this way. I saw this person who says he's a Christian or this girl who says she's a Christian do this thing, and therefore she's just like me, so I doubt that there's anything to this. I mean, that's pretty low expectation.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's based on people. But yeah, both, I would say.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it is a high expectation.
Nice. I was thinking high expectation just because non-Christians, they're arguing that Christians aren't better than them, so why be Christian? Does that make sense? We're not supposed to be better, but we're just supposed to, you know what I mean? Just act. Yeah. If we act like non-believers and, do a bunch of stupid stuff, then it's why are we even Christian in the first place?
Or, are we?
Yeah,
that's the question. From a lost perspective,
faith.
What is the usefulness of this? What does it mean?
Yeah.
Why bother with all of this if, in the end, when it comes to human behavior, you're the same?
Mm-hmm. So, the next question is, what is the root of doubt? Do you think it's pinpointed to one thing?
What was the previous question?
What causes doubt?
And the next one is, what is the root of doubt?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm taking this question as different from the previous one in this way. If the cause of doubt is circumstantial, this thing happened in my life, therefore it's caused doubt, then when you're asking what is the root of doubt, are you talking about what is the specific human condition or part of the human soul that causes doubt to grow? In which doubt can grow? What you doing there?
Hold up.
Are you Googling this?
No. I've already Googled this.
The root of doubt.
I think I just wrote down the same question twice. And
you just rephrased it?
Yeah.
Did you listen to what I said about?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's recorded.
What did I say?
What did you say?
Okay, I was trying to decide what the difference between these two questions
was.
was.
What I usually do is type a question.
Yes.
Go back, retype it, make me sound way smarter, but it never works. And this is one of the moments where it's I just forgot to delete the original question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which question do you like better? The second one, because that comes after, right? So you rewrote it.
Yeah, the second one.
The root of doubt, I would say they are different. There's a cause of doubt and there's a root of doubt. Where doubt takes root would be in privacy.
Okay.
Can I pursue this for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm seeing a difference here because a cause of doubt would be circumstantial. Something happens in my life and it causes me to think these thoughts, but a root would be
where it
where it grabs on in your mind.
Okay.
Where it dwells and grows.
That's what I meant.
Nice question. I would say the root of doubt would be like secrecy, privacy, like being unwilling to address it. Like, maybe subconsciously even, that this doubt has been caused in your mind. Like, the seed has been planted of this little doubt. And I would say it gains root, like it grows root. A doubt will root itself in your mind if it's neglected, if it's like kept in private and not addressed. This is what I found in my life and working with youth and like addressing questions that people have, young like students, like even like your age. We first met when you were in 8th grade and kind of growing up in that. And one of the things that has been important to me is that when you doubt, don't sit on it. Don't like shut the door on it and say, well, we can't address that. That's shameful to admit that I have this doubt and this was the cause of it. When that's happened in my life, it's rooted. The doubt roots and then it festers and it grows until one day you've drifted away from God and you find yourself like, I used to go to Bible study, I used to go to church and actually worship, but I feel far away from God and it's not even real, So I like that second question, even though you meant to delete the first one. It is different.
Is there anything else you want to say on like the negative side of doubt?
Negative side of doubt?
Yes.
Doubt?
What is the negative
bad.
side of doubt? Doubt equal bad.
No, doubt. I wouldn't say doubt is bad. I think
the next thing I was going to ask
anyway,
is
let's move on.
Pros of doubt.
Pros of doubt.
Yes, because I feel like
pro at doubt.
I feel
professional doubter.
Professional doubter. I just feel like when people talk about doubt, it's like we just well, I guess we just talk about the depressing side of doubt. Like we never talk about like necessarily
what to do with it.
Yeah, what to do with it. And
yeah. So
what was it? I guess it was last summer because we were at preteen camp again.
Yeah.
But like last summer for me at the very beginning was just like I felt so. I'm gonna use the word alone, but I don't mean as in like from like people, but just like from God. Yeah. I remember thinking in the room I was staying in because we were at preteen camp for the worship band. I was just like, what if this is just like someone found this book that this old hag had like wrote like forever ago, and it's just like this doesn't mean anything. Yeah. It was just like I'm not gonna say one of the darkest because I feel like right after that was like the most growth that I've had. Right. Was after that doubt. Right. So what I wrote right there on that screen, typed rather, embrace the doubt and look for answers. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's like definitely the first step I took. That is the best answer, and to accept it, to look at it for what it is and where it came from. Like, okay, I'm having doubts about this particular thing, and where did this doubt come from? I started doubting this when this person said this to me. Or I started doubting this when I read this article, or I started doubting when I experienced this, when I lost, this very close friend or a family member, and I thought God was going to do something. Like, what is it that started causing doubt? And then intentionally and purposefully, like, finding an answer for it, no matter where it goes. And I've challenged people in the past to just say, if you doubt because of this thing, then pursue it. And I'm telling you, if you do this, if you pursue where this takes you, for better or for worse, I might get in trouble for saying something like this, but I would challenge people to say, if this thing is causing you to doubt, then pursue it where it goes, acknowledge it, and take it all the way, and say, if my doubt is true, then what else is true? So let's say if I'm doubting that, like, God cares about us because he allows people to die when we don't want them to die. If I accept that and I follow it all the way and say, I'm going to pursue this doubt and just see where these ideas go, what does it lead to, right? Does that lead me into a place that I want to be? I mean, into a belief about the world and my purpose? Is there a purpose? And all of these things that do, on the inside, I would say, contradict what we know to be true. And these are the things that we know to be true. I think everybody on the inside believes these to be true, that we have value,
that we have purpose, that there's more to us than just flesh and bone. When someone hurts me, it's not just against my flesh. If you were to punch me in the face right now for whatever, it's not just you're punching a pile of flesh and bone and that hurts my muscle tissues. It hurts my heart, Wayne. And that means something, that I have a soul, and it means something. Or if someone breaks my heart, or, it's like, it's more than just transactional human physical interactions,
Yeah.
Or with whatever it is that's causing doubt. Pursue it. Last week, our pastor, Brother John, was talking about disciples. We were talking about disciples in our men's prayer breakfast, and he asked me which of the disciples I thought I would be. And usually, and I think he was looking at like Peter, the rock, the confession of Peter, the zealot, or John, the disciple that loved Jesus, or the disciple that Jesus loved, or these other disciples. And I said, well, I'd probably be Thomas. And he gave me the weirdest look. It's like, really? Why would you? Wow, Thomas. Because what do we call Thomas? Doubting Thomas. Absolutely. And that is me. I totally struggle with doubt a lot. But what happened to Thomas? We call him Doubting Thomas, but we should call him Believing Thomas, because he expressed what he doubted, and it got written down for all eternity, so that literally everybody knows that he doubted. They wrote that down for a reason. He said, "This is what I'm doubting, and this is the struggle that I'm having," and he was real about it. And what did Jesus do? He specifically answered his doubt and stepped into that doubt and said, here's what you need to move on. And Thomas went from that. He, like the rest of the disciples, died for Christ. He didn't just like drift away into the background, continuing to doubt and live in doubt. He addressed his doubt, Christ answered his doubt, and he lived and died for Christ. And that's what I want to be. Like, I would say that's a great example of dealing with doubt and allowing God to deal with doubt. Like, if you doubt something, if you have doubts for this reason, absolutely address it and give it to God. And if he doesn't answer you, I would be surprised.
Let's talk about physical, like, things to actually do.
Right. Doing things?
Yeah. Like, well, prayer.
Okay, yeah.
But I want to say this to you. I think you were either counseling someone or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know the name because you didn't tell me, which was polite of you. But anyway. Okay. So, or
I forgot.
They were looking for they were looking for an answer. I can't remember if it was doubt or not, but I really feel like this would apply to doubt too.
Okay.
Like fasting. I want to say he was doubting, or he was just looking for an answer, and God wasn't making it obvious, and you were like, fast. I think you said for a week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about now?
We did 3 days and 3 nights. Yes,
oh, okay.
I do. And it was a friend of mine that was kind of in this place of it was about his relationship with his fiancée, that they were planning on getting married, but he was afraid of certain circumstances. It's like, well, if we get married too soon, he had doubts. He's like, what if our life is terrible because I haven't prepared well enough? I'm not in a place yet to like be able to take care of her. He felt like I need more time to get ready to take care of my wife. And she was like, this is breaking my heart. You promised we were going to get married at this time, and now you're saying you want to postpone it because of this and this. It just feels like a betrayal. To her, it just felt like a betrayal. And because she was ready to get married, she's like, don't worry about all of that. We'll be fine. But he had doubts. And so his decision was basically this. Either we get married soon now, according to this schedule, or we postpone it and according to a schedule that we don't, future to be determined. So I said, well, I can't answer this question for you, but I can pray with you and tell you what I'll do. We'll fast together. That 3 days from now, we're going to fast. So just water and no food, just water and, like carrot or something like that. Just some very light food, only vegetables or something like that. I don't remember exactly the parameters of the fast that we set up. But in 3 days, I said, you will have an answer to this question in 3 days. He's like, well, how do you know? It's like, well, I just trust God that that's going to happen. Based on my life experience, when we are fasting for this purpose, so that every time you feel a hunger pain, you're thinking about this. Because throughout the day, we get busy, you go to work, you're thinking about all the other things that are happening, and then when you actually have a minute of peace to sit down and think about this question, you're right there with your fiance, you've got like 1 minute, and it's like, well, what do you think? Should we do this? Like, I don't have time to think. But when you're fasting, it's like all of a sudden it focuses your mind and your spirit on seeking after God's wisdom in this. And it's a great way to get an answer to a prayer. And I would say at the end of that, yeah, he was ready to go. he knew what he needed to do.
Nice.
And it's been a blessing too to see how God answered that prayer. I would say they're very blessed. And not that it was because of me. I didn't invent this, obviously. I was just like, well, hey, let's do this, and I'll do it with you. I would say if you have a friend that is dealing with doubt, that's a great way to show them that you're with them, because your faithfulness in doing that with them sometimes is all someone needs to have proof that this Jesus thing is real. Like, this person's willing to do this for me, because they love me. That's a different kind of a love, right? Not eating for 3 days, that's a different kind of that's on a next level kind of like commitment. Or longer, or whatever it takes,
Yeah. Always check with your doctor before you go longer than 3 days.
Well, sure, yeah.
Yeah, just
yeah. And I am a doctor, so,
yeah.
In
theater.
In theater. But, I can act like a doctor. I concur. Were you looking at the swords behind us for any reason? Okay.
Yeah. Can you be Indiana Jones for Halloween this year?
Ooh, I've been Indiana Jones a couple times. I was really wanting to go for Han Solo, one of my favorites.
Oh, nice.
But I can.
I'm being Jim from The Office.
Okay, that's boring. Wait, what was the previous question? Just to make sure there wasn't anything else I wanted to say.
Oh, I came up with the question on the spot because I'm stupid smart.
Oh, right. I don't know what I'm agreeing to here. Stupid or smart?
Okay, I asked steps to take besides just embracing and looking for answers. And
I did have another thing that I wanted to say.
Oh, let's go for it.
I would say when it is your own faith that you're doubting, sometimes what you're doubting is not necessarily that God exists or that he is who he says he is in God's word. Sometimes I would say a lot of believers actually believe that stuff. What they doubt is, can God use me? Am I in the right place to actually have a relationship with this God?
Like genuine faith?
Yeah, am I with God? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the thing that I would say as advice, if that is where you are, I'm struggling with my own faith. I'm doubting my own faith. If I actually believe this, if I have what it takes, am I a part of this faith? I would say commit to actions or action that requires faith. Commit to do things that require faith. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that will show you really quick where you are. I would say people who refuse to commit to doing things that require faith are the ones who continue to be in this place where they question and they doubt their faith. But when you say, you know what? I do have doubts about who I am and what I am. Am I a believer? Do I actually buy into all of this? Is this working? I'm doubting all of this. When someone comes to you and is like, hey, we have this special need in our church, or I'm having this Bible study and I want you to lead it, or we want you to step up and be one of the leaders in the praise team or something like that. An action that requires faith, and you're telling yourself in your mind, I'm hearing these doubts, I don't have the faith to do this, or do I? Commit to it. Say yes. Don't say no because you doubt. Say yes because you doubt. Because you want to see whether you do or you don't. And I would say, in my experience, every time that I've done that, the question about my doubt has been answered in a positive way. Every time that I have said no to something because of doubt about my faith, my doubts were never answered. I just kept doubting, Mm-hmm. And my fear for, our generation, your generation, is that you get a doubt about your faith and you say, well, that means I need to back off. I can't be saying yes to this mission trip, or I can't go and join this church. I don't want to step forward. I don't know about being baptized yet because I don't know if I really believe this stuff. Like, step up and do it. And then on the backside of it, you'll be like, wow, God came through and increased my faith because I did this action. A lot of times I would say, people like, I need to wait for the faith to be right in order for me to commit to this action. It's like, sure, I will commit to that. I'll be, 100% on the praise team, or I'll be 100% in Bible study, or I'll be going to this, mission trip or whatever. I'll step up when I feel like I'm in the right place with my faith. It's like, well, that's how you get to the right place in your faith, is stepping in there. Like Peter stepping out of the boat. Like, he had to commit to an action that required faith before he would actually be shown his level of faith. And it turned out that he did doubt. I mean, he sank until Christ saved him. But he committed to action that required faith. Or the Israelites stepping into the Jordan River. God said, you're going to cross the Jordan. They had to take that Ark of the Covenant and put their foot in the water before the water split. They couldn't stand on the bank and wait for the water to split and be like, oh, now I have faith to cross. Like, God's not working that way. He's saying, commit in faith, and then I'll show you how deep the faith is. When you struggle with doubt about your faith, commit to action that requires faith.
So here's the podcast theme question, okay. Air quotes. Anyway, how does doubt help you be the salt of the earth?
I would say doubt helps you identify with the lost, and helps them identify with you. Someone who is truly lost, or someone who's struggling with something, very often, I don't know if anybody else has been in this place, but very often when you're struggling with doubt and someone comes to you and says, well, you just got to believe, that turns out to be not always the best approach to that. Some people, absolutely. And I admire those kinds of Christians who, if I get into a conversation about my journey through what I believe about evolution and how I came to understand and believe in creation the way it's described in Genesis, that was a long road for me. A lot of people are like, oh, well, I just believe that. I never struggled with that. I'm like, that is great. That's cool. But there's a lost world that really does struggle with it, and they need someone who can discuss this from a doubting perspective. I think, anyway. Not that I've ever won anybody to Christ by talking about how evolution is a lie. That hasn't happened. You only win people to Christ through the gospel and through the Holy Spirit. That's true. But I would say acknowledging your doubt is a part of when Christ said, you have to take up your cross daily and walk with me. That's the part of me that needs to die. And if I don't acknowledge that doubt, I can't die to it. And I can't see God come alive in new ways until that part of me has died. And for people to know this about me, to meet me and say, man, that guy really believes this stuff, but I know he struggled with these doubts and he really spent a long time studying these things, these questions about other religions, or these questions about science, and these questions about faith and what it means, these questions about the history of how the Bible was written and who were the disciples, and all these things that, yes, I struggled with this. And I hear these questions, and I'm not just offhand well, I dismiss your question because I have faith. I don't know. I would say that might help me witness and reach people. We'll see. Does that make sense?
Yes. That was a great answer.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Okay.
I know last week, me and Eli talked a little bit on cliques, almost, groups you hang out with. And I think that just ties into what you just said. It's like people are more drawn to people that they have more in common with.
Well, that's true.
And like you said, like an identifier.
Yeah.
It's like, I identify with this person.
Yeah.
Like, I know what they're going through. And
if you look at some of the great testimonies of people like C.S. Lewis, man was a doubter for sure, and pursued his doubt with intellect and wisdom and became a great believer, like one of my favorite apologists, and there are many others too that have a similar journey. So doubt can be a great tool to lead you to a deeper faith. At least it has been for me, if you do it right. If you don't let it fester and ignore it and kind of shut it away and let it control you from its dark place,
Embrace the doubt, look for answers.
Sure. Yeah. And if you don't know where to go, then come and find me, because I've been there. and others. There are many people that are doubters, that are Thomases, and now I told God what I needed. God gave me what I needed, when I wasn't even asking the right questions, it turned out, but I still had a lot of doubt. And now I'm ready to die for Christ. That's what I want to do.
You don't have social media, do you?
What kind of social media? I got the Facebooks. I got that's all I got.
Facebook. Do you want a shout out?
A shout out?
Yeah.
To
Facebook or anything.
Hey, Facebook?
No.
Like that?
No.
I don't know what you mean. What? To somebody on Facebook?
Like you want us to put your Facebook in the description.
Yeah, shout out.
We didn't even say what you do.
Oh, I'm the professor of theater at Howard Payne University.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for this episode with me and Nick, and make sure to tune in next week for our next one. Bye-bye now.